The evolutions of Among Us. Among Us is a 2018 online multiplayer social deduction game developed and published by Inner Sloth, an American game studio. The party game Mafia and the science fiction horror film The Thing inspired the game. The game supported cross-platform play and was first released on iOS and Android devices in June 2018, followed by Windows later that year in November. Today's video is all about its evolution. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and here we go. The game was then released in December 2020 for the Nintendo Switch and in December 2021 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X or S. While the game was initially released in 2018 to little mainstream attention, it experienced a massive surge in popularity in 2020 due to the participations of many well-known Twitch streamers and YouTubers. Among Us VR, a separate VR version of the game developed by Shell Games, will be released for Quest 2, Steam VR, and PlayStation VR. Among Us takes place in a space-themed setting, with players dressed as colorful, armless cartoon astronauts. However, 3 other maps have been added since the release of the scaled spaceship in later years: the skyscraper Mira HQ, the Polis planetary stations, and the airship. Each player chooses one of the 2 roles. Most are crewmates, but a few are imposters that do not change their appearance. The crewmates' goal is to either identify and vote out the imposters or to complete all of the tasks on the maps. The imposters' goal is to sabotage the missions covertly, by either killing the crewmates before they complete all of their tasks or by triggering a disaster that is not resolved in time. Early development. The live party game Mafia and the science fiction horror film The Thing inspired Among Us. Marcus Bromander, co-founder of Inner Sloth, who had played Mafia since he was a child, came up with the concept. In the original game, function cards were dealt out and players wandered aimlessly around the house while other person secretly murdered them by drawing a finger around their neck. The majority of its mechanics remain in Among Us. Still, the team wanted to eliminate the need to create an interesting home model and have someone wandering around in a boring environment. As a result, they decided to make the game space theme and included tasks that, according to Forrest Willard, program at Inner Sloth, changed several times during development. In November of 2017, development began. Originally, the game was intended to be a mobile-only, local multiplayer game with a single map. Bromander put Inner Sloth's other game, the Henry Stickmin Collections, on hold in order to create Among Us' first map, The Scout. When they started working on the first map, they intended for the ship to be constantly in crisis and for the imposters to be able to perform tasks. However, they found this arrangement stressful and decided it wouldn't leave much time for detective work and informed meeting conversations. Willard described playtesting as painful and frustrating because the game would break down during sessions, forcing him to send new builds from Google Play to playtesters. As a result, the team tested the game with 8 of their friends and never tested it with 9 or 10 players. Instead, the Unity engine was used to create the game. The game was released on Android and iOS in June 2018 under the app ID Space Mafia. Among Us had an average player count of 30 to 50 concurrent players shortly after its release. However, Bromander attributed the game's poor receptions to Inner Sloth's really bad marketing. The team nearly abandoned the project several times, but due to a small but vocal player base, they kept working on it, adding online multiplayer, new tasks, and customizations options. Finally, on November 16, 2018, the game was released on Steam. When the Steam version was released, the cross-platform play was supported. To avoid revealing hidden information in a local setting, the game initially had no audio, and Willard composed the SFX during the game's Steam release by combining sounds from various sound packs. Mira HQ, a tightly packed headquarters roughly the size of the Scout, was released by Inner Sloth on August 8, 2019. Polis, a third map set in a research station, was added on November 12, 2019. Finally, the airship map, based on the locations in the Henry Stickmin's universe, was released on March 31, 2021. Mira HQ and Polis were available in-app for purchase for $4. On January 6, 2020, their prices were reduced to $2, and on June 11, 2020, they became free. While the map packs are still available for purchase on all platforms, they now only include the skins that came with the maps. According to programmer Forrest Willard, the team stayed with the game a lot longer than we probably should have from a pure business standpoint, releasing weekly updates to the game. This steadily increased the numbers of players, causing the game's player base to snowball. Bromander attributed this to the studio having enough savings to continue working on the game even though it wasn't selling well, cancelled sequel and ongoing updates. The team will begin work on a sequel Among Us 2 in August 2020. Forrest Willard and Amy Liu continued to update Among Us during this time, increasing the maximum player base, adding 4 servers and 3 regions, and implementing longer multiplayer codes to support more concurrent games. Due to how many people were enjoying the original game, the team cancelled the sequel on September 23, 2020, instead opting to add all content intended for the sequel to the original Among Us. However, Innersloth deemed the game's codebase to be outdated and not built to support adding so much new content, so the team planned to rework the game's core code to add new features. The team later announced plans to fix the game's servers issues and widespread cheating problems and add a system for banning disruptive players, colorblind support for the Wires task, and some previously unannounced lobby customizations options were added to the Among Us beta on Steam in October 2020. A 5th map, the Sheriff role, and the new game modes are among the features that have yet to be implemented. The game added a feature called Quick Chat in mid-February 2021, replacing the standard chat interface with preset phrases that players must choose from. Players under the age of 13 must use Quick Chat, but those over the age of 13 can also use Free Chat, which allows them to type original messages. The Airship map, which was first announced at the Game Awards 2020, was released on March 31, 2021. The airship has several floors, contraptions, tasks, and more. Furthermore, Game Awards presenter Geoff Keighley's face has been added as a skin. The map is based on the Top Hat clan airship from the Henry Stickmin series. Among Us VR was announced for Steam VR, PlayStation VR, and Shell Games MetaQuest 2 at the Game Awards 2021. An approximate release date was officially announced during the MetaQuest showcase on April 20, 2022, with the game arriving around the holidays of 2022. Popularity 2020 spike. Although Among Us was released in 2018, it was not until mid-2020 that it experienced a surge in popularity, initially driven by content creators online in South Korea and Brazil. According to Bromander, the game is more popular in Mexico, Brazil, and South Korea than in the United States. Willard claims that Twitch streamer Soda Poppin popularized the game on Twitch in July 2020. After that, many other Twitch streamers and YouTubers followed suit, including XQC, Pokimane, Shroud, Ninja, Disguised Toast, and PewDiePie, memes, and mods. The game's popularity persisted in the months that followed. In September 2020, YouTube reported that videos about Among Us were viewed 4 billion times, and TikTok videos about Among Us had over 13 billion views in October 2020. In September 2020, YouTuber CG5 wrote a song based on the game called Show Yourself, which received over 60 million views in 4 months. In September 2020, the game had 100 million downloads and 1.5 million concurrent players. Manga. H2 Interactive, which publishes Among Us in Japan, announced on December 28, 2021 that a one-shot manga based on the game will be published in Bisatsu Korokoro's April issues on February 28, 2022. Innersloth began promoting the manga on their official Twitter account on January 13th. This is all about Among Us growth. What do you think about the evolution? Let us know in the comments below.